So we're in the middle of a Perek test. We just started it. And we started saying that the Mishkon Nefesh Bahamas should be Klipa Noiga, which is from Klipa Noiga, Bechol Ish, Yisrael, second line down, Hu Belev Bechol Smoli. It's in the heart, in the left ventricle of the heart. Shumali Dom, which is filled with blood. So that's where the Nefesh Bahamas resides, in the left part of the heart. It's filled with blood. Everyone knows who studied biology here that the heart does two things. Number one, it collects a lot of blood, and that's on the left side. And then it contracts or it beats, and oxygen passes through the lungs, and it comes out eventually the right side of the heart. So this place, which is in the left part of the heart, that's the place where the Nefesh Bahamas, which is from Klipa Noga, which we spoke about yesterday, hangs out. He resides there. That's where. Now, what are the ramifications of having this guy in the left part of your heart? Right? So, and first of all, just maybe I'll address one thing. Why the left part of the heart? What's the connection between the Nefesh Bahamas, the animal soul, and the left part of the heart and blood? So I would say of the physical, blood is probably the most spiritual. You have all your limbs. You have your brain, you have your lungs, you have your toes, you have your eyes, you have muscles. Blood is about warmth. It's about vitality. It moves around. It's as close to spiritual as you get from the physical. And that's the place where the Nefesh Bahamas hangs out, the animal soul. At the end of the day, he's the soul. Like it says, Ki dam hu nefesh, the soul's the blood. Third line down. Lochen, and therefore kol taivas, all taivas. What are taivas? You guys learned this 3 times. Desires. Vesifaros, what's tifaros mean? Boasting. Vikas. Anger. Vidomehen.
And
similar to them. See? All of a person's lust, anger, cravings, boasting, henbelev, they're from the heart. They are in the heart. In other words, when a person has these feelings and sensations, which are not necessarily holy, they originate in the heart. Umehalev. Now, what's the issue over here? Mehalev, from the heart. Hen mispashtus. They are mispashtus. No, what's mispashtus mean? They spread out. The whole goof and the whole body. So in other words, they start in the heart, and then all of a sudden, it starts spreading throughout the whole body. And it also goes up to the brain. So it starts in the heart. It goes everywhere. It wants to take over the hands, the limbs, you name it. Any part of your body. Your stomach, it wants a desire. Please, feed me. And it even is v'gam oila moich. It even is oila. What's the word oila mean? Goes up. L'moich shebarosh. One of those 2 words, please. L'moich shebarosh. It goes to the mind that's in the head. Lachshev lahara behen. To think, to contemplate, behen l'schacham behen, become cunning in them. Right? In other words, this feeling you have in your heart, Nefesh Bahamas, this animalistic feeling, actually ascends all over the body, including the brain, and tries to influence him. Adam, just like the blood, mikoidei belev, its mocker, its source, is in the heart. Umehalev, and from the heart, mispashet l'cholivarim, it spreads out in the whole limbs. V'gam oila moich shebarosh, and it also goes up in to the brain and the head. In other words, the blood starts over here, and eventually it goes everywhere. I mean, God forbid if somebody, they open up the head, let's say for a good reason, they need to do a constructive surgery or something. Sometimes doctor needs to save a life. What's going to come out? It's going to come out blood. Where did the blood come from originally? Where did it start? Where did it circulate from? So we're saying just like the blood is in the heart and eventually makes its way up to the brain, so too that which the blood represents. Now, what would you say the blood represents? The blood represents the Nefesh Bahamas. That's the place where it goes. And not only in the heart, but where? In the left part of the heart. It goes to the place which is blood. So just like the physical blood goes up to the brain, so too this meaning of what blood represents, meaning the craves, the boasting, the anger, the desires. It's going to start in the left part of the heart, and eventually it's going to go to the brain. And now, like we said before, to become cunning, in other words, a person wants a crave, a desire. He has to think about it. How am I going to get it? I have to think, how delicious, how does this feel good? How am I going to do something which is pleasurable? You need brain power for this. So he is like a fighter, and he wants to take control. He says, I don't want to just stay over here. I want to go up here so I could figure out how to get what I want. He's a clever guy. Now, we have another guy up there in the brain also. Who's in the brain? Who learned this so far?
The godly soul.
The godly soul. So we're going by the word ach, which is, we estimate 9 lines from the top of the chapter, Perek Tes. Ach moko mishka nefesh elokis. However, the place of dwelling of the nefesh elokis, the godly soul, hu b'moichin shebereish. That's in the brain and the head. Umisham mishpat hates, and from there it spreads out l'chol evarim, to all the limbs. V'gam belev, and even the heart, b'chol yamani, and even the heart and the right ventricle. In other words, the nefesh elokis starts up here in the head, and he spreads out to the whole body, just like the nefesh of Bahamas, the animal soul, starts here and goes to the whole body. The nefesh elokis also does that, and he spreads out to the whole body. But where's his primary place in the heart? Not on the left side. Where does he go? He goes on the right side. Why? Because that's not where the blood is. That's where the oxygen is. That's where the it's more empty over there. And again, you could, those of you who studied biology know exactly what I'm talking about, how the heart looks. Remember those days in high school or in college? So you learn about the anatomy, the structure of the heart. So he's over there, right? She'ein by dam, where there's no blood. Like it says, lev chochem yamin. It says the heart of the wise one is to the right. So what's over there in the right side of the heart? In other words, when the nefesh elokis is influencing the heart, the avas Hashem, that's the love of God, yirishbi shelaheves, mislaheves belev, like a fiery flame, a fiery love, which flares up in the heart of those who are maskilim avinim, who understand, or intellectualizing, or mizbeinim, and meditating, or contemplating, bedaitam in their das. Das is an intellectual faculty in the head. Asher b'moichem, which is in the brain. B'devarim imeirim asafa, in things which arouse the love, right? In other words, a person starts thinking about things which arouse the love, and now the heart starts getting interested. If a person wants to, I'm going to give a few examples of what he thinks about. If a person wants to love something, generally, you have to understand it. If you don't understand it, how are you going to love it? Like, take a person, he's a businessman. So, what's the concept of business? You want somebody to buy a product. You want to be a salesman. You want an investor. So you explain to the investor, you explain to the customer, look, if you get this, it's going to help you so much. It's going to wear this clothing, use this soap, brush your teeth, whatever it may be. Get this phone, get this computer, whatever it is. When you explain to somebody something and they understand how great something is, what do they naturally want to do? They love it. And eventually they want to be inclined and they want to use their action to go get it. Right? Okay. So we're saying over here, let's do a few more lines, then we'll take a break. V'chein simchas lavav, by the period. So to the happiness of the heart, b'tiferes Hashem, the beauty of Hashem, v'hadar goynim, the glory, right? Einai chochm, like the wise of the wise one, asher b'reishem b'meich, which are in the head of the brain, chochmos b'nasai, using his wisdom, his understanding, mistaklim b'yukar de malka. He gazes at the glory of God, v'tiferes gedulasai, his beauty and his greatness, arein cheker, which is infinite, ve'ein seif, no end to it, ve'tachlis, no goal, no finishing to it, like it's explained in other places. In other words, a person starts using his brain to meditate on the greatness of God, how he's infinite, and that's going to naturally give birth to a love. So to the rest of the holy midos, the holy attributes in the heart, Shebelev, Hen Mechabad Shebemoichin. They are from the Chabad in the head. In other words, for a person to fully have a full-blown love towards something, they are stimulated, the love, the emotions from that which he understands. And when a person is meditating correctly, that's what gives birth to it. That's what stimulates. That's what brings them to revelation. So what are we saying in short? Again, we'll get into this more. If a person wants to have a love, a passion in Judaism, like really enjoy and find meaning and purpose and love his mitzvahs, love his davening, love his mission on life, it takes brain power. It can't be robotic. It can't be, I just come and I'm a religious Jew and I wake up and I have to be on time and then I'll put the same on tefillin and kosher and I could keep Shabbat. Here the Alter Rebbe is demanding of those who want to be connected to the Chabad philosophy, that if you want to have a true love, a true passion towards godliness, it's going to take some intellectual exercise, which we call contemplation and meditation, and meditating about his greatness, and that will give birth and stimulate this love, which when you have a stimulated heart, a stimulated love, it results that the actions you do and the words you speak, they're rooted from this love, and they're done with more joy and meaning and purpose. And this is what we're going to discuss later on, that there's going to be a body, which we're going to call an Ir. Ir in Hebrew means a city. And just like a king who wants to conquer the city, if he has an enemy king who also wants to, there's an outright war. Who's going to be in control? Who's going to control the inhabitants? Who's going to be listened to? And so too, the two souls, the Nefesh Bahamas and Nefesh Elokis, are at war with each other. They want to each control the city, which is your body. And the Alter Rebbe in this book called Tanya is going to teach you ways of how you can be victorious and how you can win and how you can beat the Yetzer Hara, subdue him, and have meaning, passion, joy, excitement in your Judaism. To be continued, and have a wonderful davening.
Yeshiva Torah Ohr of North Miami Beach.